Hi guys, what is up? It's Sophie. Welcome to a new video. Today I am going to be talking all about college parties, everything you need to know, advice, the truth, everything. I go to University of Arizona. I am currently a sophomore, and U of A definitely has a bit of a reputation for being a party school, so I feel like I'm pretty qualified to be giving the advice in this video. I have a long ass notes of everything to talk about in this video, so let's just get into it. First off, I just want to talk about like the timeline of events in terms of big parties and big party weeks at U of A and at literally every school. Like, even if you're going to a school that might not have like a party reputation, like there will be parties, I promise you. One of my sisters goes to a really small liberal arts school, and I went and visited her, and it was one of the most fun weekends. Like, believe me, like, even if your school doesn't have a party reputation, if you want to party, you will be able to party. I feel like I should preface this by saying I do not condone underage drinking. It's reality. Like, kids start drinking way before college. I'm not necessarily saying I partake in it or not, but it's a fact of life, and honestly, I don't think it's the worst thing ever. Like, you're gonna experiment while you're young, and drinking is a lot better than some other things that you could do, in my personal opinion. So the first week of school is called Silly Week, and this is like syllabus week for classes. A lot of your classes, you will just be getting your syllabus and going over it, and so that means you're not really having a lot of homework yet, and people are just excited to either be starting college or be back, and it's a fun week. So this week there's usually parties every single day or night of the week. It's fun. It's really just your time. Like, as a freshman, you're meeting so many people. You're like going out with different groups of people, going to different frats. And this happens at the start of every semester. So there's a silly week at the start of spring semester and fall. On a normal, non-silly week, the biggest party night is Thursday night and Saturday. I really recommend, if you want to be going out on Thursday nights, try not to get any early Friday classes, because you will really regret it. I had no Friday classes either semester, which I got very lucky with. If you really plan out your schedule, you really search on the U of A like schedule, U-Axis, you know, where you make your schedule, you can, it's possible, especially as a freshman. I would say I recommend it. It was really nice having those Fridays off, and I mean, you have a 3-day weekend, plus you don't have to like wake up early on a Friday morning after going out on Thursday. So just saying that. But yeah, Thursday's very big, and then Saturday is usually either game day every time that there's a big home game for football in the fall. The entire mall is used for tailgating, and frats will have darties, and it's just a big fun day. Everyone wears their Arizona gear. And then I never really went to the football games just because I didn't have a pass. I only went once. But then everyone goes afterwards to the games, and it's a fun day. And then on non-game days, Saturday is usually still darty day until it gets kind of cold, which Arizona, you know, it stays warm for a while, so our darty season is definitely a little bit extended. And then sometimes there will also be things on Saturday nights, and other big nights are Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Not every single, certain frats will have certain things, like certain nights, like during the week, you know. So there's like plenty of smaller things. Like, smaller nights typically tend to be the Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday nights. But these can be big nights too. It all depends on the frat and who's throwing. But yeah, biggest days are Thursday and Saturday. Other big weeks are homecoming and spring fling week. Now, I didn't get to have a spring fling week this year because of coronavirus. That cut off my freshman year a little bit, so I can only speak about homecoming, but they're basically the same thing. This is like really big if you're involved in Greek life these weeks, because frats will ask sororities to homecoming, and then they'll basically like spend a whole week having events with the frats and hanging out with them. So there's just like a lot of stuff going on those weeks, and it's very fun. Halloween this year fell on the same time as homecoming, so that was just a really fun week, because Halloween already is like really big and fun, and then homecoming on top of that. So that was a very fun week, and I love dressing up. I love theme parties, so it was fun. And then at U of A, we also have something called Dead Day, which is right before finals starts. Basically, classes will end on a Wednesday of the week, finals start, and then finals start that Friday. So you end classes on Wednesday, Thursday there's no classes, this is called Dead Day. Friday, finals begin. You might not have a final that Friday, you might not have them till the next week, but for Thursday you have off. Wednesday was your last day of classes, so Wednesday night is known as Dead Day Eve. So this is a big night. Everyone just kind of goes a little crazy because it's like the last big party night of the semester, and it's everyone's like chance to have fun before you have to get studying and start your finals and everything. Okay, I'm editing right now and I feel like I should add this in here. When I say crazy, I mean I literally fell on top of a cactus and woke up the next morning not even knowing that anything had happened, just seeing thorns and scratches all over my legs. So if you're a freshman, you're going to a school, maybe you don't know people already, that was my situation. I was going alone across the country by myself to U of A. So I didn't know a ton of people ahead of time. I knew my roommate, my suite mates, and I just connected with a lot of people on social media, which I totally recommend doing. Literally, like, all my closest friends right now, we all followed each other beforehand. We literally like comment on each other's pics before we even knew each other, and because of this we all ended up like meeting up one night and just going out, and the rest is history. And now I'm back in Tucson right now with some of them. But getting invited to parties, it's a little bit, I don't know, it's different for everyone. If you're a girl at U of A, you won't have any difficulty being invited to parties. Like, girls can go to any of the frats that they want pretty much. Like, if you're a girl, you don't have to stress. Joining Greek life really helps because it gets you those connections. The first 2 years at U of A, like when you're a freshman and sophomore, before you can legally go out to the bars and drink, are basically like frat parties. Like, that's the main way of partying. Like, you can party in the dorm, but it's like the real like big like frat college experience is at the frats, obviously. So being in Greek life obviously helps get you those connections. You can meet a lot of guys that way, but literally just like living in the dorm, like just pushing yourself to be outgoing and just talk to everyone, go around to everyone's rooms the first few weeks. The doors closed, knock on it, introduce yourself. So yeah, I think that's really the best advice for how to get invited to parties, is to just talk to everyone. If you're not interested in being in Greek life, like, that's okay. So another thing about frat parties at U of A is that a lot of them work through a wristband system. So it's what they basically have to do with the police and everything to make sure that they're under capacity, that they don't get red tagged or get in trouble with the police. Like, the police, if it's a wristbanded party, you don't have to worry about like the police like busting the party, really, because never had that experience my whole freshman year. So basically what this means is that to get into a lot of the frat parties, you have to get a wristband from one of the guys who's in the frat. So my advice for this is honestly, like, just hold on to all of the wristbands you get, because you know what, if you got a neon yellow one time, just cut it off safely, put it in a little drawer or something, and then next time that the color band for the night is neon yellow, you don't really have to stress about that. You can just be like, okay, I already have one, I can just wear that again. Just saying, I'm giving you that advice, just do that. It'll save you time and stress and energy of trying to get one from a guy all the time. So, and then at U of A, like, it's also a really big thing that like every frat will have like one or two like big parties where they like get a DJ, and like it's a huge thing, and those are always wristbanded, and it's a lot of times it's maybe harder to get a wristband for those if you don't directly like know a guy in it. I mean, a lot of people came to U of A last year. I'm trying to think. DJ Pauly D came, that was an interesting night. Waka Flocka came, Virtual Riot, Sudden Death. If you're into EDM, like, you will love U of A because it is such an EDM school, and like you do have the chance to see a lot of big DJs. And then just like they have their big parties, a lot of frats also have smaller, just like laid back nights called late nights, which is basically where it's like a smaller group of people. Usually you only go to these if you're like friends with some of the guys, and it's more just like everyone hanging out and chilling, and it's not like the huge like dancing, like everything sort of night that parties typically are. But late nights happen a lot, and it's just like a fun way to get to know people better too. Okay, and before I get into like giving a ton of advice, a lot of parties are themed. So I think if you have any sort of random like old Halloween costume from high school, anything that like could work for like a themed party, I would say bring it. I think dressing up for themes is really fun, but some common party themes, at least all of these are ones I went to in the past year. So jungle, 70s or 80s, angel and devil, jerseys, Playboy, cowboys, risky business. There's way more neon, that's another one. But if you have anything that you know might come in handy for themed party, I would say bring it, why not? And really quick, also in Greek life, sororities have things called date dashes. They're called different things, like they might be called a date party at another school, but these are basically like little dances or parties where you bring a date with you. It can be whoever, it can be a guy, it can be a friend, boyfriend, like does not matter. But these are usually themed as well, so this is another thing. Like ours this year, we were only able to have 3 because of Corona being cutting everything off. Oh, actually we had 4. Our first one was disco themed. We had a Battle of the Bands one with the frat that we went to homecoming with. And then we had our semi-formal, which was, you know, if you have any like old homecoming or like more casual like formal dresses, definitely bring that because you could wear it for semi-formal. And then we also had like a Valentine's Day theme one. So, okay, but now my advice. I'm here as your older sister for a little bit to just give you that real advice, okay? So first off, try and learn your limits. Try to know them, because you do not want to be blacking out and getting super drunk and throwing up every single time you go out. If you didn't drink a lot in high school or you didn't drink at all, like that's totally fine, but just take it slow the first few weeks of college and sort of get to know how much you can handle, because I do know a lot of people who didn't drink before they got to college and then they kind of went off and they were having fun, but they were also like getting sick a lot, and you just don't want to be that person. So my next advice is to, especially the first few weeks of school, but literally whenever, like go out with different groups of people, different groups of friends, like sort of see who you vibe with. I feel like especially at U of A, like because partying is really big, it's like one of the best ways to meet people and sort of find your friends. And so yeah, I would say just go out with different people. Don't just go out with the first people that you meet on campus. Might be the people who end up being your best friends, but they also might not be, and you just have to be open to everyone. And if someone invites you to go to their pregame or to go out with them or whatever, like say yes, or invite someone else. Like, you know, don't be scared to like invite someone to a pregame or ask them if they're going out or anything like that, because you're all in the same position of being somewhere new, and no one's gonna think you're weird for like making plans with them and trying to make friends, because everyone's trying to do that. So, and going off of this, always go out with a group. Like even if it's just you and 1 or 2 other people, like go out with a group, don't leave anyone behind, stick together. Or if you go out with a big group, like at least like don't leave anyone behind. At least if you're gonna pair off, like don't, you know, leave anyone alone. Make sure everyone is with someone. Watch out for each other, because you never know what can happen when things get crazy and people are drinking. So this is again going off of knowing your limits and being careful. Most of the time you will pregame before going out to the frats, whether this is in the dorms, at an apartment, or like even frats have pre-games for the parties sometimes. Whatever it is, if you pregame and then drink at the first frat you go to, drink at the second frat you go to, drink at the third, you will die that night. Like not actually die, but like you will wake up the next morning, not remember shit, and literally be throwing up all day. So just try to watch and see how much you're drinking. I think pre-gaming can really screw you over sometimes if you're planning to also drink at the frat. You have no idea how much alcohol is in the drinks that they're serving, so yeah, it's a pretty easy way to black out if you're not careful. I also really recommend having some little wallet, or like whether it's just putting your ID card in the back of your phone case. Like I really like having a wallet, because then I can have my ID for my school, my credit card, my debit card, like driver's license, anything else that I might need with me. You do not want to be carrying around a bag, you do not want to be carrying around a wallet, and you're gonna need your school ID to get into your dorm building, so you're gonna want to have some sort of safe place to carry it. And going off of that, also your dorm key, I really recommend. Basically, you'll see people doing this the first few weeks, but you can put your dorm key on a hairband and put it on your wrist, and then you can wear it out without an issue. I still did lose my key once this way, but for the most part. And this is a pretty good method. I mean, what I started doing after I lost my key is I started literally putting it on the hairband, you know, tying it there, and then putting it around my ankle so that it really, you know, it was not getting lost, it wasn't going anywhere, it wasn't slipping off by any chance. But no, you don't want to just be leaving your dorm unlocked. Like, you want to have your key with you, and you don't want to be like relying on your roommate to like have their key and be home and open it for you. So yeah, I would definitely do the hairband method. Okay, so that is everything I have for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any other questions, make sure to leave them in the comment section. Like this video if you want to see more college advice videos on my channel, and also subscribe. You can check out my social media if you want to see what I'm doing when I'm not filming. And yeah, thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.